everyone, and welcome to today's episode on the Fashion Fables podcast. Today, I am welcoming Lydia Shafer, owner of Lock Bridal and Lock Boutique located in Bellefonte, PA. Lydia, I'm so happy to have you today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
So let's begin. So if you could just talk to us about yourself and your career path that led you to where you are today as a boutique owner.
Absolutely. So when I graduated high school, I went into beauty school, and I was a hairstylist in State College for 13 years. And then I got into photography from a mentor. I did a photo shoot, a style photo shoot, and I did the hair for it. But I loved the entire experience, like getting the girl getting dressed up, feeling great about herself. So I got into photography. And then that led me into wedding photography because Pinterest is covered with wedding photos, and who doesn't love the whole wedding experience? So I got into wedding photography, and I'm actually about to photograph my last wedding this June. And then I'm going to do full-time boutique things just because it's a lot trying to do all the things. So then I'll be full-time boutique, and I'll still do my photography, but just for the boutique. So that's kind of like a quick snapshot of all the different hats I've worn.
No, I love it. That's so cool. I feel like those two interchange, especially because like nowadays, like you kind of need to have like a pretty good social media presence to kind of get your brand out there and stuff like that. So I think that's like an awesome combo.
I feel like having that photography, I feel like I'll always use it. I always say that's like from the hair world, I love talking to people. So I feel like my personality skills and talking to the public came from hair and then photography. So I feel like it built me into like, currently I'm in like my dream job. Like owning the boutiques is literally like, I don't know, I can't imagine a more fun job. So I definitely think like my journey getting here built me into being able to like do what I do today.
No, that's awesome. And I love everything. It is a dream. So
I always appreciate your support. You make the cutest videos for us. Your social media is a fire. So I appreciate every time you make a sweet video and come visit the boutique.
Oh, thank you. So what inspired you to open up your stores? And if you could just touch a bit on which one like opened first and anything about the beginning of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so boutique started. So when I was doing photography, I was shooting for a friend who has a clothing boutique, and she just came to one time. She's like, Lydia, like we should start a boutique together. So we actually started Lock together. She has small babies, so it kind of just took over. It became like a lot. So she actually decided just to focus on hers, which is in the town over in Lock Haven. And then I decided to run Lock by myself. So it's been officially just me for about like a year and a half. The entire boutique is 2 years old. And then Lock Bridal happened actually just 2 months ago. So I consider both of boutiques babies, but Lock Bridal is definitely like the baby. It's 2 months old. And that happened because I think it's also like my love for weddings again. It's kind of like the perfect marriage of boutique life and wedding life is a bridal boutique. It's so fun. So yeah, that's kind of like the timeline that happened, and it kind of just all fell into place. Like 13 years ago when I started doing hair, I'd probably never be like, oh, I'm going to own a boutique someday. I feel like even being a photographer, I feel like I never set out to do that. I just kind of get interested in something and pursue it. And then that leads to like the next thing, and then that leads to the next thing. And then just doors kind of open. I feel like the more open you are to like something new and trying something different. So it kind of just all fell into place. And I feel incredibly fortunate to be able to have these boutiques. Like I said, like it's so fun. They're so fun.
Yeah, no, it looks so fun. Especially, I feel like your vibe is very like, I don't know, welcoming and open, and it kind of makes people want to love shopping and stuff like that. And I think sometimes the spontaneous things end up leading into like the best adventures where you kind of like don't have everything so set in stone, but you know that there's some type of like direction you're going in, and you'll eventually find like where you're meant to be. And that sounds like exactly what happened in your story. And that's just super inspiring. I feel like for anyone listening to kind of not give up in their goals just because the road might be a little bumpy, because at the end of the day, if you have the passion and the fire within, then you can pretty much accomplish anything.
Yes. I truly believe like whatever is meant for you to do, as long as you're open to it, you will get there and it will happen for you. So like even like I don't before somebody asks like what are your goals? And I don't really like set goals necessarily for myself. I just kind of have a very broad template of things I would like to do. And then kind of whatever avenue works out, I just head that way. So it's not like I have like grand goals for luck or anything. It's just everything I felt very passionate about and it worked out. That's what I did. And it kind of just,
Oh.
yeah. And I truly believe anyone who's open to that and trying something new and just has that want to find the passion will it always works out. It'll totally work out. So I always say to people like, don't stress out. I feel like right now there's a lot of pressure for everyone to find their passion. And I feel like once they're like, once I find my passion, then I'll be truly happy. But I think like that journey of finding your passion and like where you're supposed to be, like find the happiness in that. And to me, like that's, let's quote Beyonce, but there was some kind of interview she did, and she said like if you have my favorite goal, if you have like ideas and you're working hard towards those ideas and things you want to create, she's like that in of itself is like having it all. And I truly feel like that way. Like if you're just heading in the right direction, I mean, it's
Yeah.
gonna smooth sail. It'll work out. But I do feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves, thanks to like social media. Everyone has these like perfect lives. And like, well, once I find my passion in life, and
Mhm.
I also believe like not everyone needs to like own a business and that kind of thing. Like there are people out there killing it and they have like a good 9 to 5 and love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everyone I feel like passion could come in like totally different ways.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I just feel like sometimes like we put too much pressure on ourselves to have this perfect life,
Yeah.
like you said. But like we don't realize that there's little things in our days that are leading us to where we want to go eventually. And
Yeah.
I feel like in order to kind of be different and is to not be like jealous or compare yourself to another person's path or where they are in life,
Yeah.
because everyone has flaws and everyone has things that they're working on. And I just feel like social media is not the perfect representation of somebody's life. It's more so like
Yes.
the good moments, and which is amazing,
Yeah.
but sometimes people take
Yeah.
it too far and it feels like more of a competitive thing where it should be. I feel
Yeah.
like Instagram especially and any of these social media should be a way to inspire and things like that, and find things you're passionate about and find creators out there or other boutiques that you can kind of grow from, and but not
Yes.
so much to kind of bring yourself down from, because I think that
Right.
you should find that a positive outlet rather than a way of like
Yes.
comparison.
Absolutely.
Mm.
I 100% agree with everything you said. And like, I was just thinking this the other day, like social media, like, yes, there's like the good and bad, but I think it's all in how like we digest it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So yeah, I think there's so much pressure to be perfect, but it is just like a highlight reel.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's Instagram is just like the best part of their entire day.
Mhm. I know.
Which I love. And I agree with you. Like I even like follow other boutiques for like the inspiration and like, like things to aspire to. But it does, I feel like it's probably for everyone. It does get hard sometimes you compare yourself. And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my path is different than their path, right? So I'm comparing my 2 year old boutique self to like the 20-year-old, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it does
yeah,
get hard, but I think, yeah, taking that pressure off of ourselves just gives you that
definitely.
freedom to kind of like find your thing.
Mhm, for sure.
Yeah.
So what aesthetic or theme do you choose to represent your stores? And like, how would you describe the interior, for example, to a customer who's never shopped with you before, or just how would you describe like your vibes of the boutiques?
Yeah. That's a great question. I love like how you worded that too. I would say I think all of us girls, we change seasonally, like how we want to portray ourselves, which I love. So I feel that way with the boutique too. I mean, the boutique look probably looked a year ago is so different than how it looks now. And that is totally based on what vibes I'm pulling from like social media, people, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So I would say right now we're definitely like feminine, girly, preppy. I mean, do you think that's a good way to describe it?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like
Something about it is
feminine.
like, yeah, it's very unique in
Yeah.
the way that it's even like the interior of it. I feel like the way that it's kind of laid out. It's like, oh, like there's more. You walk down the stairs and you know what I mean? It's very
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I think that one reason I love the space we're in, it's a very, very old building. It's a historic building in Belfast. We have like tall ceilings, big windows. I love that about it. And also I do also like how it's set up. You go through like the other door and there's like another room that has like bigger ceilings. Yeah, I love our space. It's unique. It has like quirks to it, which I think is like an appeal of an older building. Um, so when setting up the boutique, I do feel like we try to bring that into account. Like we kind of want to showcase those big windows. But yeah, we kind of, I guess when decorating, we want it to kind of feel very happy. Like when you walk in, that's my goal. Like other stores I've got into, I love walking in and just feeling happy when you're in there. So it's very bright,
Mhm.
light. And especially right now, we have lots of colorful things because we're in like spring, summer mode. So I feel like right now it's a very, very happy, girly vibe. I do love a pink neon sign too. That's one of my favorite things we have in the
Oh my
boutique.
god, it's my favorite ever.
No, I love it. Yeah. So I feel like that's definitely one of my favorite things we've got going on so far in the boutique. But I do feel like, yeah, we're always changing just depending on, what
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, we
into.
have to keep it fresh, but also that sign is my absolute favorite saying in the world. And
I
when I
know, me
saw
girl.
it, I was like, no way.
I love it. I love because you can tell whenever people read it if they've seen the movie or not seen the movie.
Mhm.
Because they're like, what a funny thing to put aside. I'm like, oh no, it's like from the movie. Like it's
Yeah,
that
but also it
it's
just
funny.
like makes the person reading it feel like, oh, like you know what I mean? It gives those happy vibes and stuff like
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, no. No,
and
I
I
love it. Yes, because that's what I want people to feel like when they're in our clothes trying them on. You know,
Mhm,
trying on clothes can be like sometimes a stressful experience, but
mhm.
to us, I mean, if you feel good in it, girl, you look beautiful. Just rock it and wear it. So I
Yeah,
love that. Like
exactly.
you look really pretty. And I also like at night driving by when it like glows. Because I feel
Mhm.
like it's such like a happy thing to say to everyone.
It's different. Not every store has that, and I really like it.
Yeah.
It stands out because it's in like this neon pink, and it's kind of like everyone can like see it kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
like hidden.
No, yes, we very much even people that wouldn't normally like shop with us, they know when I say like, "Oh, I own a boutique," and they're like, "Oh, the pink neon sign," because like you can definitely like at night.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And I
it's a
also
feature
love
point.
like I came for your anniversary and like so
Oh
cute
yeah.
with like the butterflies by the locks on.
Ah, and thanks for noticing. I love that you're
Yeah,
detail oriented too. I love it. Yeah, so we did like a cute butterfly theme since it was in the springtime and had some cakes and stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
it
I'm
was
glad you
adorable.
came and liked it.
Yeah, I made sure to come. I was like, oh my gosh. And I loved the little cakes and the champagne. It was just adorable.
Cute. Yeah. So clearly, right now, it's very girly or high,
Yeah.
everything like feminine, sweet. Yeah, that's
And
definitely our
then
vibe.
we always have like a different just like set of flowers, like tulips and other ones.
Girl, I love this. Thank you for noticing. But yeah, we try to keep some fresh flowers. Our
Mhm.
manager, Lexi, I was out of town last week and she texted me. She's like, hey, just so you know, I went and grabbed new flowers for the desk. I was like, oh my word, you're so thoughtful. Like that means like everything to me. It's like those like little things, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but I
it's
appreciate you
so
picking up
pretty,
on this.
especially by like the register when you're paying. And I don't know. I notice it. I
Yeah.
look over.
I
I'm like,
love stuff like that too. So yeah. Oh, Olivia, we're just two peas in a pot.
I know. So,
So yeah.
aside from the decor inside, can you talk a little bit about the process of how you pick
Yeah.
and choose your items, like the retail
Yeah.
aspect of being an owner? Because I just love to learn about this stuff.
Yeah, no. I was even before like I was in retail, I find that part fascinating. I mean, as girls, like we're always shopping. It's literally like what we spend a lot of our time doing. So to learn what I'm still learning, because I consider myself a baby here, the whole behind the scenes process. I mean, it's fascinating since we've been doing it, we've been shopping forever. It's like what we do here.
Yeah.
So I would say, let's see, what's the most recent, most unique thing? So typically I go to market. I guess that's probably the most
Mhm.
fascinating part. So there's different markets all throughout the US, generally in cities. And I would say the majority are southern cities. So like Dallas, Atlanta.
Mhm.
I've been to almost all of them. I think the next one I'll probably check out is Vegas. And I've heard that's probably like the biggest one. So they're basically comprised of tons of privately owned labels. So when you go to market, lots of like little labels. And it is just the one in Atlanta is the 14 floors. And it's just like a, a shopping mall on steroids, basically, is how I describe it. I mean, it's just like everything you could want. And the typical buying process is you have a minimum with each brand and you have to hit that minimum with your orders and they come in runs. So you buy six of each sizing. So
Oh,
whenever we're shopping, I mean, I do think, oh, what do I like? But I also have to think like, what does my customer want, right? Like, what are they looking for? Like, what events are coming up that they're going to want to shop for? What colors do I think would go well? So before we go, we generally put like a Pinterest board together. I also ask my girls that help me, like, what are they into? A couple of them had sent me like crocheted pieces, which actually didn't even hit my Pinterest, but it's the cutest little trend.
mhm.
So we picked up some of those. So I definitely think like asking the girls, what are you into? What are you seeing? Definitely helps my which way to buy. Also thinks it keeps it fresh, Definitely
Mhm.
gonna pick out what I like, but it's nice to kind of get a different perspective.
Yeah,
So
exactly, especially because, like, I don't know, I feel like there is a similar vibe in your boutique, but also, like, you kinda have to realize that there are different people who have different styles and, like, you wanna
yeah,
kinda appeal to, like, more than just, like, one type of person. Um,
absolutely.
yeah, and that's actually super interesting. I didn't realize that the biggest ones were, in the southern, area,
Yeah,
but I think that's so fun for you too because 'cause you're able to travel and
it's
kinda
so
just
fun.
learn new things, I guess.
Yes. No, it's fun. And my friend Ashley, who I talked about earlier, so we travel generally together to
Mhm,
markets. It's nice to have like a friend to go with you.
mhm.
So especially, like afterwards we go out to eat and like check out the cities and stuff. So we make it such like a fun, it's so crazy. The one time we went to Orlando for one, and we were on those little like newts, those like little scooter things. And we just had this realization, like I think it was like a Wednesday. Like how insanely fun is it that for our job we're going shopping on like a massive scale, and then
Mhm.
like lunchtime we're riding around in little newts. Like
Yeah,
it is
that is
like such like that is like the highest perk I would say own a boutique is like going to market. That's just like the best.
no, that literally sounds like a dream, and I literally
It's
one
so
day,
fun.
like, want like, one of my goals, I guess, is to, like, own a something like a boutique like that, but
Yes. Yes.
also I love fashion, but I also love traveling, and to be able to,
Yeah.
like, go other places and see something that I really love to bring back to, like, what I own is just, like it's just a great
Yes.
feeling, I feel like, and, like, to do it with, like, your bestie, it's just adorable, like, I don't know.
So fun. No, it's definitely like the most exciting thing in boutique world is whenever you get to go to market. Especially like I said, like they're typically southern and since we're in the north.
Yeah.
Always happy to go south for a little bit, especially in the winter months.
Warm weather and just, like, new
Yes.
people and new culture, yeah.
New culture, the food. We love checking out new restaurants. No,
Mhm.
it's fun. Yeah. I do have like flash sometimes. I'll text Ashley and be like, "Oh, I miss like market life. Like it's just like such a and it's very quick typically. It's only like 2 days long. Like market's very short.
Okay.
So it's a very quick experience. And you are working. I say it's fun. It is fun. But think of it like, on Black Friday, if you've ever gone out and you just go so hard. You wake up early, you go so hard, and you're actually like exhausted from shopping. That's literally what we're doing. Because by the end, like my brain's fried. I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Everything
Mhm.
starts looking the same. So I consider it like a marathon,
Yeah. No, that's
a
the thing too,
shopping
it's like
marathon.
yeah. I know, and especially, like, if you're a little bit indecisive, you're like, "Oh my gosh, I like so many
Yeah.
things, how do I narrow this down?" And,
Yes.
like, whatever, but I know, it's just
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things where you just have to go by instinct, and if you have your friend, you
Yes.
can kinda ask her what she
Yep.
thinks. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Lexi, my boutique manager, she's gone to I think the past 2 shows, and she's so good to have. She calms me down just on the regular anyway, but she's such a good. Like she'll help me like make that quick decision, right? Like if I'm in between things, it's nice to have like a second or third perspective.
That is so
So
nice.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it is nice and good to have.
So then I guess this goes straight into our next question. So, like, who do you work
Okay,
alongside? What are some key things you look for if you're going to interview someone to become a
yeah,
potential lock employee?
yeah, that's a great question. I would say number one, definitely personality.
Mhm.
So, I mean, what we are selling is clothing, but also more of a feeling and an experience. So when customers come into the store, I want them to have this, like, I feel like the word you said was so perfect, like a very welcoming environment and very happy. So to me, personality is like number one. If you are a cheerful person, like a people person, that to me is huge because everything else from then on, like the actual checking somebody out, that kind of stuff is you can teach that. Like
Yeah,
that
that's true.
if you can run an iPhone, like you can check somebody out. Like it's very simple. But it's very hard to teach someone to be a people person and very bubbly. I feel like that's just either who
It's who
you
you
are.
are. Yeah.
It's who you are, right? So I guess typically when I do interviews, I can quickly be like, yep, perfect. Like just get a quick feeling, they're bubbly, you match. Um, as you know, because I'm not always at the boutique. So to me, I want the excited feeling I get to be there, even if I'm not actually in the boutique. So definitely bubbly, cheerful. And if you're extra organized, which I know you are, I love that too.
Oh, yay.
I like to keep it clean and tidy over there. So yeah,
Yeah.
personality,
Oh.
organizing is a bonus.
Yeah, well, that makes so much sense because like it is customer service and I don't know, you want the face, your employees are like the face of your company. And so you
Right.
want it to be positive and cheerful and happy.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. So yeah, even like I mean, the social media we push out everything. Like you want to keep that same vibe of happy and the whole way through the experience. So yeah, definitely
Exactly.
personality number one.
And so what has kind of been, I guess, your most successful, if you have one in mind, of owning Lock? And what are some goals you have, I guess, for the future?
Yeah. So successful. It's a great thought. I would say successful. I don't know if this is probably like where I had to go, with it, but to me, it's the people that I have met because of owning it and the people it attracts. So it is true that whole like your vibe, what was it? Your vibe will attract your tribe. That kind of,
Yeah,
am I saying that
yeah.
right? That concept.
No
It is
doubt.
so
Yeah.
true. Yeah, because I mean, even like you, like sweet, organized, like go getter, like that personality type. I mean, the people it attracts, like I'm just always so just overwhelmed and excited by that. So I think that to me feels like the biggest success is that whatever we're pushing out, whatever vibes we're doing, the people it's attracting are absolutely amazing to me. So I would say that's probably the most, even like the girls who work with me, like I always say, I'm like, you guys are like top tier, cream of the crop. Like these are hardworking
Aw.
girls. They all have lots of stuff going on. They're like hustlers, And I just feel lucky to have them. So yeah, definitely the people that I get to interact with me is
Oh, I
I
know.
like the
It's
biggest
always
success.
amazing to like meet like-minded people, especially if you can work alongside them.
Yeah,
Because I don't know, I feel like in this world, a lot of times people focus on like the negative, but there are so many good people out there. You just have to find the right crowd kind of thing.
absolutely. No,
And
I
so
totally agree.
definitely that's amazing for you also to establish those relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I would say the people are, I feel like I said this earlier today, like, I feel like exactly what you said. Like sometimes people are like, oh, everyone's so lazy today and like blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Like I feel like that's like not, I mean, again, maybe it's the bubble in which I live, but like I just don't feel like that's true. The more people I meet, I'm like, oh my word, these people are go getters, they're hustling, they're
Oh,
like thinking outside the box, they're very
yeah.
creative. So yeah, and I think it just makes me so happy to meet people
Oh.
like you. So yeah, that's the number one.
And then, so can you touch on the marketing aspect of your businesses? So, like, how do you
Yeah,
promote yourself on social media?
yeah,
And do you kind of receive help? Do you do it by yourself?
yeah. No, that's another good question. Which is funny because as of yesterday, so this is another perfect example. We had a girl reach out to us via, I believe, it's Instagram, and said that she runs different brand social media, and she actually worked. Remember, I talked about Atlanta Market. She actually used to
Mhm.
work there. So we had an interview yesterday, and exactly the same thing. I could tell by her personality, it was going to be a good fit. So actually, she's taking over coming up on Monday to help with social media because
Oh,
before that, it's basically been me. And I do enjoy the marketing aspect, but I think since opening bridal, I feel like
yeah.
I maxed myself out on what I can do.
Mhm.
So I
Right.
definitely have to like call in reinforcements because yeah, it's a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it is.
definitely one thing to push like a single boutique, but yeah, bridal's a totally different ball game, and to push both of those, I have recently found that I've hit
Mhm.
the limit. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited to get some help on that. I feel like that's kind of like a relief off me, and that honestly happened yesterday. That's a great
No,
question. That's a
yeah.
recent one. Yeah. So
That's so
I'm very excited
funny.
for her
I
to start.
know. It's definitely a lot, especially because you want to have that like put together look and you have that certain aesthetic. Sometimes it can,
Yeah.
and I don't blame you for wanting some help because it's not
Yeah.
easy and it takes a lot of
It's
work.
tough.
But
Yeah.
at the
Which
end
is
of the
just
day,
a fun.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
so fun.
And
Like it's
I
so much fun.
it's so much fun. And so I was telling him, Katie, as I was telling her, like, I enjoy creating that content. Like, to me, that's probably like one of the most fun parts of this job, too, is like the photo shoots and putting the looks together.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like the posting and like really that like behind the scenes and like knowing the algorithms and when to put like that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, so that's where we're gonna need a little help, and especially like all the different forms of social media. Like I'm an Instagram girl. I think
Me
that's
too.
probably because I'm in like also like I feel like I just love like aesthetic stuff like that. So Instagram, I feel like comes naturally, and then like TikTok though is its own culture. So I
Mhm.
feel like you have to adapt accordingly. Um, so yeah, I'm excited to get some help on just even what to create for the other platforms.
I know. I feel like social media, like the potential is endless. You can keep growing and stuff
Yes,
like that. And it's
Mhm.
honestly so much fun. But yeah, that's awesome. And I'm sure you can tell her kind of what you expect and stuff like that, and to
Yeah.
keep that awesome up because I love your social media too.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, no, that is one of definitely part of the business is like I've always loved doing is the social media. I think that's like my photographer side coming out. I
Yeah,
love creating that whole,
awesome.
I guess, feeling. Yeah, no, that's definitely a fun one.
And then finally, what about luck is the most special for you? And any final words you have? This was so fun. I love
Yeah. You've
it.
done a great job, by the way. You're
Oh,
amazing at this. You have great questions too.
thank you.
Let's see, what's the most special? I think I think because like I probably said this like a little earlier, it's not that I ever set out to do anything. It's not really set out to like, oh, I want to open a second store or anything like that. I think knowing I'm in the right place and doing what I'm meant to be doing is probably the most special thing to me. And seeing things fall into place is always just like so humbling to me. So even like the other day, like certain things just like fell into place and everything worked out. And then it kind of just reconfirms like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, like what I'm meant to do. So I think that's probably the most special thing is constantly like probably like daily seeing like I can't believe that worked out that well, or things like that, or just feeling like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing is probably like the most special. So that mixed also with the people that I get to meet and be surrounded by, I would say those are probably like my two, I guess, biggest, let's call them takeaways
Yeah,
from
that is
owning a boutique.
amazing. And I feel
Yeah.
like you do such an awesome job with every aspect. And that's why I personally am intrigued in your boutique because it's definitely my style, my vibe, and I just
Yeah. I
love
love
everything about it. So I'm so happy you
that.
came on and it was
Oh, right.
amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for sharing everything about your businesses, but stuff about you personally and how you retail and market and all that good stuff because it was so much
Absolutely.
fun. And thank you so much.
Absolutely. I appreciate you asking me and taking the time.
Oh, of course. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.